Alright guys, so right now on the Yukon we are going to be doing a thermostat, reason being on the gauges. When you're running the car, if you see that it doesn't hit the 210 mark, that means that the thermostat, you're going to have a code for the thermostat not closing and opening properly. So that's why the temperature doesn't go up higher, but the temperature is staying higher inside the engine. So it's not opening and closing properly. So the thermostat is obviously this guy here in the bottom. All the Chevys, they have this issue. Why? I don't know. It's just another thing that Chevy does wrong. But we're going to go ahead and change this one. Again, to do that, it's pretty straightforward. You are going to lose some coolant. It's not much we can do about, but we're going to clamp this hose, which is a little fine one there, and this one. We're going to clamp those two so we lose as least as possible. We have to take this off. So we got that right there, this one here, this hose right here we're going to unclip, and this one as well. We're going to take this off so it'll be out of the way, and then we can expose everything there. Alright, let me get that done, so I'll be right back. Okay, so as you can see, there it is. So we got this clamp, and 3 bolts. Okay, once you take that off, obviously it's going to be throwing water everywhere, and that's okay. But we're going to go ahead and clamp this hose and this one, so we can, kind of control the water that is leaking out. But regardless, you do have to tap it off, and it is what it is. You cannot, you can try clamping down as much hoses as you want. Like this one is the water one on the water pump itself, and then you got the reservoir. If you really want to clamp it down, but I don't know, we'll see. But regardless, we gotta add some water to it. So let's clamp that down, and I believe those are 10, but we gotta take these clamps off. So let's clamp it down and then take the hose off. Be right back. Alright guys, so what I did, we unclick, took this one off, secured this one. We got this one halfway pinched, and the one on the bottom of the water pump. Hopefully it won't overflow as much. I guess we'll find out. So yeah, so now all we have to do is just take this nipple off. You gotta loosen up the hose a little bit out of the nipple, same as this one. So I'm gonna try to get some pliers or a little 90 pick tool so we can loosen up the hose from the actual neck there. Alright, be right back. Hey guys, so I'm gonna show you a little trick. Once you take this little nipple off, this hose off on that nipple, it's gonna shoot water out. That's why I got a little bit of a mess here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna clog it up. We're gonna put a cap on it. That way it doesn't spray out. We have the hose out of the way, and then we just gotta remove this one, and it will be a more controlled water flow. Because this one, you take it out and it's gonna go up pretty high, and that's why we got water there. So to avoid to have everything under control, we're gonna take it off, we're gonna plug it in, and then we're gonna take the big hose out. Alright, be right back. Alright, so we got the little nipple covering that up, and this hose is already loose, so we're gonna jank it off. See, not too bad, it's just a little bit. So we're gonna put this out of the way, kind of hold it if possible. Now we have 3 bolts, 1, 2, 3. I believe they're number 10. We're gonna take them off. We're gonna still get some more water out. That's okay. There's nothing we can do, but at least we're not having crazy amount spitting everywhere. It was just a little bit. Let's take those 3 bolts out so we can take that thermostat housing off. Alright, be right back. Alrighty, so we got the 3 bolts off. They're right here. We're gonna take this off. As you can see, still gonna blow some water out. That's okay. Again, So there's so much we can do about that. So let me go ahead and put the new one in. Alright guys, so make sure that it has the ring on it. We put everything back on, and now we just got to loosen up the clips. Yes, make sure that it has a ring on it properly. That way it's not making any crazy what should I call leaks afterward. And that's it. Now we got to put everything back on, take our clamps off, and let it run so we can add some water to it. Alright guys, be right back. Alright, so when you put the clamps back on, make sure that they fall in the same direction or the same position that the clamp was holding the hose. Because if you put it on a different position, there might be a chance that the hose is going to leak just because it's not seated properly and it's making a new connection. So that being said, these ones are back to where they were. Everything is good to go. Now we can take our clamps off, and we can put our intake back on, our two hoses, our breathers, and tighten it back on, and we should be able to start. Alright, be right back. Alright guys, so again, everything was clicked. Everything was put back on. Everything is tight. I already tapped off the reservoir. So now I'm gonna let it run for a minute so that, you know, everything cycles. I want to turn the heater on so that if any air bubble was created, we can get rid of it, and let it cycle so that we can get up to temperature on the gauge, and I'll show you guys what it's supposed to look like. Alright, be right back. Alright guys, so she's running smooth. I turn on the heater so she cycles. We can leave that open so that she can breathe. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the gauge, what it's reading. Obviously it's at 0, the car was cold, so there's no major leaks. So there's no heat on the engine, but it's going to take a minute to get up to speed. When it does, we should be right on the 2 and 10 mark. Nothing less. Once the car is running and you see anything under 210 when it's running, when it's been a minute of driving or whatever, then that means that the thermostat is bad. So let's go ahead and check it out and see where we at once it's up to temperature. Alright, be right back. Alright guys, so if you can see that temperature gauge with the that thermostat, it was staying that line before the red, meaning between the 160 and the 210, the line, the taller line before the red, that's where it was staying stuck. Okay, now obviously the car's still warming up, it's not up to temperature, but she's already above, so she's gonna keep on creeping until she gets to 210, and that's where it's supposed to be running all the time. Alright, so I'm gonna wait until it hits that mark, and then we can continue with finishing, you know, the fix. Alright guys, be right back. Alright guys, so as you can see, she's now 210. Still gonna let her run for a minute. I want to make sure that she's not going over. She might go a little bit over, and then when she opens back up, go back down to 210, and that's normal. But typically it should be at 210 when you're driving. Okay, if it stays when you're driving, anything lower than that, like about 180, you're gonna get a quote for the thermostat not opening properly, and you know, otherwise it's not cooling properly. So that being said, I'm gonna let it run for a minute, confirm that everything is good, and she's another job well done. Alright guys, like always, share, like, subscribe, and I see you guys in the next one. Later.